Hey, Walking Dead fans, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about Michonne a little bit. This will be a theory video, kind of ideas and thoughts about what's going to happen to Michonne, what's she doing, what have we seen in the last trailer, things like that, and we'll go over it a little bit. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to know some of the stuff, I will be tossing out suggestions and ideas and theories. So it's not as much a spoiler alert. I don't really know what's going to happen to Michonne, but we're going to look at some of the stuff that has been presented to us in the trailer and things like that, and make a few ideas, throw out a few things, and then we'll continue the discussion in the comments below. So Michonne's come a long way. You know, in the comic, she had the walkers on the chains, the pet walkers. Show was the same way, and Rick didn't even want her around in the beginning, but then in the end, they became a couple because of how the show played out. That didn't happen in the comic. Rick and Andrea. Andrea lived for a long time in the comic, and her and Rick got together. So in the show, Rick and Michonne ended up together, and they actually had a son together, and Rick, I guess, don't even know that. So there's little RJ, and of course there's Judith, who is actually Shane and Lori's daughter from early on in the early seasons, right? Carl, of course, Rick's son, died in the show. He lives in the comics, but he has died in the show. So that brings us full circle back to Michonne. She has Judith and RJ still alive, but she left them in good care, but she went off on her own adventure to try to retrieve some weapons from an island, supposedly. This guy Virgil has led her on an adventure saying he's looking for his family, but he's kind of a sketchy guy. We don't know what's going on with that. But the big thing is, looking at all of this, we all know that we don't think Michonne's going to die, and it has to do, her leaving has to have something to do with Rick, her finding out that Rick's alive. I think we all think that a little bit. There's been a bunch of different theories. On that I've seen and read, and you guys have told me. We have not seen Michonne return to help with the Whisperers. We have not seen any weaponry she's brought back. The shotgun Gabriel has is not a clue. Judith's tear may be because Magna and Connie are missing and presumed dead from the cave mishap. My theory says she or Daryl does not find out about Michonne's fate yet. So the tear and stuff is more for, say, Magna, Connie, or some of the others that may have lost their life in the Whisper War or engagements, and not Michonne. Although they emphasized Michonne when she left, her having the radio, talking back to Judith, and Judith talking to her, that they would be in distance of the radio. Remember that? And that could come into play here. They could have got a radio message, Michonne saying she's going to be gone for a while longer. Maybe something about the Rick thing, but I kind of think it's aiming toward the something about Connie and Magna maybe. But we also have Maggie returning, but I don't think that will connect directly with Michonne's story arc or her leaving the show. But it very well could. It just seems like they didn't know Maggie's show would not do as well, or Lauren Cohen's show wouldn't do as well, and that she would be coming back. And I think they had already kind of figured out the Michonne exit strategy, and they're just going to fit Maggie back into the show. That's why I don't think it'll tie into the Michonne story arc. I think it might have already been written. But most theories about Michonne's exit, of course, is about her finding out about Rick or trying to go find Rick. So will there be a tie-in to the CRM group? I think so. It almost has to. But in the trailers and the promo photos, we see Michonne on a larger boat. She started out on that sailboat, and her and Virgil ended up somewhere. She was looking around with a flashlight, Virgil standing behind her. But then here we see her in a changed outfit and on a larger boat. So she's in a different outfit than she left in, this black shirt, and she hasn't been seen with Virgil in this outfit. For one, her not to return to Judith and RJ, something major has to happen. And for her to go what seems like a full Negan on some people, and it seems like it's been more than a few days, maybe at this point. Something major had to have happened. And for her story to be fulfilling, she needs to find out Rick is alive before she exits the show. So the same outfit that she has on the large boat, we see her in what seems like she is making 2 new walker pets and puts them on ropes. You can tell that's ropes right there. But we also saw this shot in a trailer that looks like from a different time maybe. looks like a different hood type, and looks like a chain instead of a rope. Is this a flashback? Or is it just another point in her current story? Then we have the Negan bat look and those scenes. And what the F, we have seen this image since way back at the start of season 10, and we have been guessing on it ever since. I first said it has to be a bad dream by Michonne or Negan, but then we see this in the latest teaser. Her swinging the bat, or Lucille, just like Negan did. And what's she doing? Who is on the other end of that bat? Is the bat the same Lucille that Negan had? I would say no to that last question. But then we see in this scene just a mere second of something, but we see Michonne in the same outfit as the dream. So now I say it is not a dream, because here she is out in the woods in that same outfit. I think it could be very real. We've seen her with a bat, I think, dragging the bat. Here she is trying to hide, get away from some men with guns. Something bad is happening. They're not CRM soldiers. They're not whisperers, but they have guns. So whoever it is doing better than the community. Seems like they've got guns and ammo. But then in the latest mid-season teaser, we also see this.
Beyond the darkness.
Wow. Pretty awesome. A lot of dead walkers. Looks like maybe even a pile of heads or something. And one crawling away from whoever it is walking up with dragging Lucille. I say it's Michonne. Many of you have said you do not think so. But we do know she changed outfits, and she may have only had access to those boots. And some say the legs don't look like hers. It's hard to say about that, but I say yes. The biggest clue is that we see her with the bat in other shots. So would a second person have a Lucille bat? Is this some person she kills and takes it from them? I don't know if Michonne makes the bat or not, but I do think this is her. Some of you guys out there say that it may include Michonne dying. I don't think she dies, and I don't think she returns back to the communities. A lot of the death theories have Michonne returning back to the communities and taking Andrea's comic death, more of Andrea's comic death, which Andrea was in a relationship with Rick, and after Negan kind of did some stuff inside the Whisperer camp and pissed them off, the Walker Horde was unleashed, and in that retaliation battle, Andrea was bitten and she had to be put down. So some people think because Michonne is kind of the Andrea, that in the show, Michonne could get Andrea's comic death. In the battle, somehow in the Walker Horde battle, Michonne does come back to the communities and she's bitten by a walker and has to be put down. I really don't think that's going to happen. There may be another character in the Walking Dead show that gets Andrea's character death or something like it. But it probably won't be, directly involved with Rick or Carl like it was with Andrea. And, it'll just be a whole different character. And I don't think it's going to be Michonne. We got to also remember that Michonne doesn't need Virgil necessarily to take a message back. They pretty much, emphasized, I would say, before Michonne left, that, hey, you can talk to me on the radio. Just holler at me on the radio, 2 or 3 times a day, whenever you need me, whatever. And they made this big deal about it, like they were going to be within radio contact distance. So Michonne could radio back to them and let them know what's going on if she's able. So keep that in mind. The radio is an option. They emphasized it as Michonne left with Virgil about talking to Judith on the radio. So keep that in mind as well. That could come into play, and it probably will. But it's hard to say what exactly happens because we just don't have enough information. But it does look like Michonne runs into some bad trouble, some guys with guns. She has her own little story arc happening to where she has to get a couple of walkers. There must be a bunch of walkers around because we do see the battle with her dragging the bat with a bunch of dead walkers and even walkers walking around. But for her to have to get 2 walker pets, there must be a bunch of walkers. But there's also a bad element. What is it she sees? Where did Virgil go? Does Virgil die? There's a lot of questions. Where does she get the bat? Why? Why does she make the bat or get the bat? Or why is she using the bat? It seems like it's a real thing. A lot of questions on Michonne, but a lot of theories out there as well. I have mine. I think she'll live. I think she will eventually find out something about Rick and she will communicate via radio, possibly, and she will leave to go try to find Rick. But I am very interested in hearing you guys' thoughts, ideas, theories, and everything in the discussion below. We'll talk about it there. We'll continue the discussion about Michonne, about her leaving. Looking forward to it. I'll see you there. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe for some cool Walking Dead discussion videos. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more dead stuff.